Hello everyone. In this training video, I will explain how to use ITrack Pro's part configuration screen. The part configuration screen is used to define settings for your inventory and vehicles that will affect other parts of the program. We'll start off with the Part Types tab. This is where you define which part types are used in ITrack. Part types 1 to 9999 are reserved for internal use by ITrack itself. So if you want to add a new part type to the list, then you will need to click the Add button and set the type number to 10,000 or larger. When you click on the Add button, it will pop up a dialog where you can fill in information about the new part type. Type number is the value that corresponds with the part name. Set number should be set to the value of another part type to share its manufacturer and model list. Breakdown is for specifying which subparts this part type can be broken down into. The more fields, otherwise known as flex fields, are things that you would like to keep track of for that part type. For example, transmissions usually have one of these fields set to ratio so that the users can keep track of what gearing ratio the transmission uses. An engine would usually have horsepower. The other fields you should pay attention to in this dialog are vehicle cost ratio, uses manufacturer and models, and show online. The vehicle cost ratio is the weighted average of how you would like to divide a vehicle's costs on the vehicle's screen. The Uses Manufacturer and Models checkbox determines whether or not this part type will use part manufacturer and part models, or vehicle makes and vehicle models. Body parts such as hood would likely use the vehicle make and vehicle model, for example Freightliner FLD 120, as where an engine would use a part manufacturer model. For example, CAT 3406B. The Show Online checkbox determines if this is a type of part that you want to show on one of the online websites that iSoft Data Systems controls. HeavyTruckParts.net for heavy trucks, Recyclers.net for light and medium duty vehicles, or CycleRecyclers.net for motorcycles and ATV parts. To edit an existing part, either double-click on the part in the list or select it and click the Edit button down near the bottom left. The same dialog we were just looking at will appear with the fields already filled in. Make any necessary changes and click the OK button when you are done. Another thing you can do on this tab is to enable or disable part types. To disable a part type, uncheck the Use checkbox. Disabled part types will not appear in any of the various part type drop-downs throughout ITrack. To enable a part type so that it can be used, make sure that the Use checkbox is checked. The Inventory Models tab allows you to configure settings for parts where the part manufacturer and part model are important, rather than the vehicle make or vehicle model. To begin editing data on this screen, select a part type that you would like to edit, such as engine assembly. A list of part manufacturers will appear, and once you've selected a manufacturer, a list of part models will appear based on that manufacturer. You can edit any of the fields for that part model that needs to be changed. If there is a model that you would like to no longer use, you can disable it by unchecking the active checkbox. If you would like to add a part model, select the part type and manufacturer that you want to add the model for and click the Add Model button. This will pop up a dialog where you can fill in the relevant information for the part model. The next tab is the Vehicle Models tab. This part of the screen is for vehicle makes and vehicle models, like the Freightliner FLD 120. As opposed to part manufacturers and models like the Cummins ISX. To edit vehicle model information, select the make and then change the model info off to the right. You can disable any vehicle model by unchecking the Use checkbox beside the model. Another thing you can do is define the first year and last year of the vehicle model. If you are unable to find a model on the parts screen, then one issue might be that the year of the vehicle for that part falls outside the first year and last year of the vehicle model. For example, if you are trying to enter a 2014 Freightliner FLD 120, but the last year of that model is listed as 2013 in the part configuration screen, then that model will not appear on the parts screen. If you would like your vehicle models to show up regardless of the year, then you can set the first year of the vehicle model to 0, and the last year to 9,999. Sometimes the vehicle model you want is not listed in the system at all, and you can add it by clicking the Add button in the lower left. Similar to the one that you filled out for the part models. fill out the necessary information, and click OK when you are done. The Teardowns tab is where you can configure different types of teardowns that you can use to quickly enter parts off of a salvage vehicle. Initially, ITrack Pro will come with a default teardown that has all part types selected, but you can edit the list of part types that shows up on a teardown by unchecking the checkbox next to the item in the list. Or, if you'd like to make an entirely different type of teardown, you can do so by clicking the Add button and creating a name for the new teardown. Then selecting the part types you would like it to be assigned to. Once you've created a new teardown, go to the Vehicle Models tab and select which models should use your new teardown. To do this, select them in the model list and select your new teardown from the Change Teardown for Selected Items to dropdown. The final tab on the part configuration screen is for categories. Back on the parts screen, there is a field for categories. The Categories tab on the part configuration screen allows you to configure what is shown in that dropdown. Categories are based upon individual part types, so to create a new category, you'll need to select a part type, or click the Select All Part Types button to add the category to every part type. Then you can click the Add New Category button. When you click on that button, a new dialog pops up and you can fill in the category name as well as a description for it. Once the category is created, ITrack will default it to being used, but if you need to disable a category, you can do so by unchecking the Use checkbox. This concludes our tutorial on using ITrack Pro's part configuration screen. Thanks for watching.